Hey guys, just wanted to go over a few more of the piecewise functions graphs in case anyone needed another example or two. This is the first one actually from tonight's homework. This is on page 3, number 1. So this will be one of your homework problems done for you. For number 1 here, first thing you want to do is kind of separate these into two equations as we were doing in class. I'm going to establish the top one is A and the bottom one is B. Now for both of these functions, I'm going to have to make a small table. Again, I don't need a whole lot of values on the table. I pretty much only need 2. But I'll probably do like 3 just to be a little bit more. Just to be a little bit more thorough, but you only need 2 values for each table. So if I'm starting with A, when you're doing a function table, you start with x on this side, you put the equation in the middle, so that's this, and then I put my y, my output. Excuse me. So then I need to pick values. That's going to be the important piece, which values I pick. When you're trying to determine the values that you're going to pick, you're always going to start off with this cutoff value. So for A, the cutoff value that's indicated there is going to be -2. So I'm going to start with that value. Now you're going to start with that value regardless regardless of whether it's less than or equal to, less than, etc. Always you want to have that number. And then since it's less than -2, we want values that are less than -2. So I'm going to pick things like -3, -4. Again, you only need one other value. I'm going to do 2. Then you simply take the values that you've chosen and you plug them into the table. So it's going to be -2 plus 5. -2 plus 5 is 3. Do the same thing for the next value. It's -3 plus 5. That's 2. And then -4 plus 5. Is 1. Then I'll write the separate points. So the points are going to be -2, 3, -3, 2, and -4, 1. Now we also have to do one extra little piece, and that's going to be going back and looking at this number, those like extremes, those cutoff numbers. So in this case, since y is less than -2, whenever I start recording, I start yawning for some reason. So since -2 is not included, we would put, you don't have to put a circle, but just put that this is going to end up being open. So just want to indicate there that it's an open circle. All right, so I'm going to move on to B. So for B, we use B when it's greater than or equal to -2. So again, I'm going to fill out my table, X, Y. And again, I always start with the cutoff value. So I'm going to put -2 in this one as well. And if it's greater than or equal to -2, then we're talking about things like -1, things like 0, things like 10, things like 100. But again, you don't want to pick crazy numbers because you want it to fit on the graph. So we pretty much just go like 1 above, 1 below the given value. So I'm going to go up to 0. Now for this particular one, there is no x in the middle here to plug in for. So therefore, all of these are just going to end up being -4. And then we can just write it over here again. There's nothing to calculate this time. So it's just going to end up being the same thing, -4. So you could have pretty much eliminated the middle on this table since there's no math to do. And the point's going to be -2, -4, -1, -4, and 0, -4. And again, we look at this cutoff value. That cutoff value at -2 is going to be closed this time because it's underlined. So it's greater than or equal to -2. So now when it's time to graph it, I'm going to start with A. I'm going to plot those points. The first point is -2, 3. And this is going to be an open circle. So I want it to be obvious that it's an open circle on my graph. Then I have negative 3, 2. And then I have negative 4, 1. And I will put my arrow going that way. Now the other part of the graph, I start at negative 2, 4. That's my point. I'm sorry, negative 2, negative 4. That's my point. Now that one's closed, so I want to have solid dot like that. And then I have negative 1, negative 4. And I have 0, negative 4. This is going to be a straight horizontal line. Let's say horizontal line going this way. So this is how this first graph would look. This is again page 3, number 1. All right, we'll do one other one. All right, so the second one that we're going to do is going to be same packet. This is page 5, number 6. I wanted to do one of the ones with the 3 extremes, so you can get another one like that to practice. So again, the first thing I want to do is kind of separate this into 3 separate functions and acknowledge what the different values will be for each one of those separate tables. When you see something like A, where it just says if x is less than 2, it's negative 5. It's 5. You don't necessarily need a table for that. Again, I'll show you what it looks like, but something where there's really no math to do, you really don't need to do a table, but just to be thorough, we'll do it this time. So for this one, if I start with A, again, any of these I'm going to label my x and y, and in the middle I put the function. So this time it's just 5. Now this says when x is less than 2. I always start with the cutoff value. So I'm going to start here with negative 2. And since x is less than negative 2, I'm going to use things like negative 3, negative 4, etc. And again, there's no math here. It's just 5. So it's going to be just 5 here. Again, there's no purpose for the middle. So my first point is negative 2, 5, negative 3, 5, negative 4, 5. Excuse me. And for this, it's going to be open. For B, I have 2 restrictions on B. Again, I always look at the restrictions in the middle first. So for B, if I look at it, I've got a negative 2 and I've got a 6. I tend to put something in the middle, so I'm just going to go with 0. I know 0 is pretty easy to plug in, so I'm going to go with 0. But again, I have my x, I have my y, and in the middle, I have my function. If I plug in negative 2, it's half times negative 2 minus 6. It's going to be negative 7. Half of 0 minus 6 is negative 6. And half of 6 minus 6 is going to be negative 3. All right, so now I have to write down these points. It's negative 2, negative 7, 0, negative 6, and 6, negative 3. And these are going to have some specific parameters. So let's look at the first one. For the first one, that's going to be closed. And again, I'm looking at the fact that this is underlined. And then for the 6, it's also going to be closed because of the underline. And then for the last table, because there's 3 this time, x, we have y. We have negative 2x plus 10. So for this one, we use this one and we look at the restrictions when it's greater than 6. So again, we always start from 6, and then we could say something like 7. So negative 2 times 6 plus 10. Negative 2 times 7 plus 10. going to be negative 12 plus 10. It's negative 2. Negative 4. So the points are the following. 6, negative 2, and 7, negative 4. And the one that's going to be open is going to be this one. So we go ahead and graph. I'm going to start with A, negative 2, 5. That's an open circle, so I'm going to put an open circle there. Negative 3, 5. Negative 4, 5. All right. Maybe I should have color coded it. I'll try to color code it from here on out. The next one we have the green. So for the green section of the graph is negative 2, negative 7. 0, negative 6. And 6, negative 3. Was that closed? Yes, it was. Oh, sorry, I don't know what I was plotting. That should have been 6, negative 3 to negative 6 was going to be. And then we would have this line. And then the last one is 6, negative 2. Get the color. And then we have 7, negative 4. And should go like this. Alright, so that's it. Piecewise functions. Make sure you have the homework. Do the next live session. Have a good day, guys.